talk about the Indianapolis Colts. They still have a shot to make the playoffs. Obviously, they must win out, right? They must win the next 2 games, and the Broncos must lose out, right? The Broncos must lose on January 5th to the Kansas City Chiefs. As of right now, if the Colts do beat the New York Giants, they have a 90% chance of making it into the playoffs. They do play at the New York Giants this week at home, and then they play at home versus the Jacksonville Jaguars the following week. Anthony Richardson has been listed as out this week versus the New York Football Giants. When you look at the Indianapolis Colts, guys, they are 1-7 versus playoff teams. They lost to the Denver Broncos a couple weeks ago. That could have made the playoff race a hell of a lot easier, but Jonathan Taylor decided not to hold on to the ball into the end zone. And just to make matters worse, their offense and their defense is not very good. Let's just be honest, they're not very good. They're 20th in total offense, 321.1 yards per game. They're 27th in passing, 185.9 yards per game. They are eighth in rushing, right? They are 8th in rushing. They're doing something right, 135.2 yards per game rushing, but they're 21st in scoring, 20th in red zone, only scoring at a rate of 54.5%. And their defense is even that much worse. 29th total defense, 23rd in passing, 28th in rushing, 23rd in scoring, giving up 24 points per game, and 20th in red zone efficiency on the defensive side of the ball, allowing teams to score at a rate of 60% once they get into the red zone. Now they have won 3 of 5. Let's not get it twisted. It is not all bad. Yes, the offense sucks. Yes, the defense sucks, but it isn't all bad, right? They have won 3 of 5. They have won 3 of 5. They beat the New York Football Jets when Anthony Richardson made his epic comeback from being benched 28-27. Then they battled against the Lions, right? It was 24-6, but they held the high-flying Lions down to a very, very low game. Dog days of the NFL season, whatever, it doesn't matter. They still held the Lions to under 24 points. And then they beat the Patriots 25-24, lost to the Broncos 31-14. Very, very easily could have been a win if Jonathan Taylor would have held on to the ball. And then they beat the Titans last week 38-20. So let's say the stars align, guys. They beat the Giants, they beat the Jaguars, the Broncos lose. Let's say the stars align and they get into the playoffs. 7th seed. Playing the Buffalo Bills or the Baltimore Ravens. Are the Colts, guys, contenders or pretenders if they make the playoffs? Can they win that opening round wild card game if they make the playoffs? If anybody in their right mind is saying that the Colts are contenders in the playoffs, you are either a huge Colts fan, you're a 100% homer, or you're throwing spaghetti at a wall, hopefully something sticks. Hopefully you're like, I see, I called that upset. Guys, the Colts are terrible in every aspect of the game. They are terrible. 20th in offense, 29th in defense. There has not been a Super Bowl winning team that has had below 10th overall defense in the NFL the last 8 years. You need to have a good defense to make a playoff run. Yes, they can rush the ball with the best of them. They can't pass. They can't stop anybody. Once you get into the red zone, might as well just walk in because you know what? We're not going to give you any resistance at all. Guys, they are pretenders. And I was high on the Colts this season. I thought the Colts had an opportunity to make it into the playoffs. I actually had them making the playoffs as a 7th seed at 10-7. I thought this was the year that they could finally not disappoint me. I live in Indiana. I root for the Colts. I'm a season ticket holder for the Indianapolis Colts. I go to a lot of Colts games. Yes, I'm a Chiefs fan, but I go to a lot of Colts games and root for them. I'm just like, damn, can you guys just not suck? But guys, the Colts are pretenders. They are pretenders 100%. So what do you guys think? Contenders or pretenders, Indianapolis Colts, if they make the playoffs? I'm saying pretenders. Josh is saying, I'll read it so you understand. Dolphins, Colts, Bengals are not making the playoffs. Josh is very, very adamant that the Dolphins, Colts, and Bengals are not making the playoffs. So he's saying pretenders. They are saying pretenders. Pepe is in the chat. Said the Colts are that dude from Spit. There's schizophrenia from head to toe. Did I say that right? Schizophrenia. Anyways, yeah, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen. Andrew's Paradise says, damn, the Colts stomped the Pats. Hashtag go Pat go. Yes. Josh, I think you damn near got the score spot on, but I was not expecting a blowout at all. Thanks for the super chat, Andrew. I definitely appreciate that, man. We'll put it to good use over here at the Man Hour. But I was not expecting the Colts the Chargers to basically kind of boat race the Patriots, right? Jameson said the 49ers should rehire Sully to be their defensive coordinator and McDaniels to be the offensive coordinators after the Dolphins fire him. That's not going to happen. Derek says 2 years in a row missing the playoffs by one game and a shuffle. Not wrong. Last year, if old who was it? It was Trey Sermon, right? If you just would have caught the ball, would have been in the playoffs. Texans would have been out. We would have had a whole different narrative about the old Texans all season long. I told you guys the Texans were overrated, but Buck, you're just a homer. You're just a hater. Whatever. Yada yada yada. I had them at 9-8 on this season. I've been pretty spot on about them. Jameson says Cincinnati is the only team that has a chance to beat the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's not get crazy. Laura says they are pretenders. There's no question about it that they're pretenders. I don't care what you say, Buck. They're pretenders. Hannah Cameron Lee says the Cincinnati Bengals are not going anywhere. We've already discussed the Cincinnati Bengals, but there will be a clip on it, Hannah, if you want to see our thoughts on it, right? Pepe says the Colts don't know if they're coming or going. Listen, somebody in our comments today, when I posted that Anthony Richardson would be out for this week's game with that back and leg injury, right? They said, good, Joe Flacco's better. And I said, yes, Joe Flacco is better 10 years ago. Last season, 2 years ago, 18 months ago, hell, 9 months ago, Joe Flacco would have been better. Yes. But the simple fact of the matter is Joe Flacco was benched for Anthony Richardson. This is the problem with the Indianapolis Colts. They benched AR-12, right? They benched him because Joe Flacco gave them the best chance to make the playoffs. Using that term loosely there, very, very air quotes, right? Joe Flacco gives us the best chance to make the playoffs. Was it 2 or 3 games later? Cannot remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure it was 2 games later. Lost to the Jaguars and lost to somebody else. Was it the Titans? May have been the Texans. I'm not for sure. Either way, lost 2 games in a row. 2 games they should have won. Definitely should have beaten the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're like, Joe Flacco, maybe you aren't quite our guy. They benched Joe Flacco. Insert Anthony Richardson. Went on a bye week, whatever, came back and beat the Jets. It is what it is, right? I believe it is Shane Steichen, right? Is the Indianapolis Colts head coach. The minute you bench AR and you say Joe Flacco gives us the best chance to make the playoffs, and then 2 games later you bench him, you lost the locker room at that particular point. Pepe, you are spot on. They don't know if they're coming or going. Once you bench Joe Flacco because he's no longer doing good, no longer doing great things, bada bing, bada boom, your season's done. That is why they're pretenders. They are 100% pretenders. I don't understand why we're even talking about them right now, but they are in the bubble. They are in the hunt. Laura says, no, Pack, no. Don't make me put on that cheese head over there. Don't make me do it. Hannah says, Chiefs are getting that 3-beat better look. Hannah says, let me repeat that. I know what she's trying to say, but what she types is something totally different. But she says the Chiefs are getting that 3-peat. Better lock it in the bets now. And Hannah, as a Chiefs fan, I would love that. I would love a 3-peat. I would love it. But let's be realistic. It's tough. It's tough. Derek says the NFL needs strong, young, winning quarterbacks. They do have strong, young, winning quarterbacks. They have Joe Burrow. They have Lamar Jackson. They have Josh Allen. They have Patrick Mahomes. You can throw Justin Herbert in there, right? Granted, they're all on the AFC side of things. Now, the NFC side is all a bunch of old heads, right? Matthew Stafford. Jared Goff's not really a old head. He's like 29, right? He's still got a few years left in him. But beyond that, we do got some young quarterbacks. But guys, are the Colts contenders or pretenders? That's the question. I think they're pretenders. Speaking of contenders or pretenders,